Okay, guys, so welcome to our last section here. Now we have leg pummeling, which is a section to where we are going to troubleshoot against the ashigarami position, which is something that's naturally going to occur because of the given benefits that my training partner has from butterfly of being able to elevate me. So let's look at this. So our first one is we're going to learn how to pummel against the ashi position. So as I get into default and he extends me up, either A, he goes and it elevates my hips, right? Or number two is when we get here, I could simply just walk into the position myself, okay? So whatever makes the situation happen, it just happens. So from here, when he goes to shoot for ashigarami, I just bring my knee up and in. So let's go back. I don't bring my knee out. That's the mistake that most people make. When he shoots, I bring my heel to my butt. So when he commits to that, it falls right on in. What I don't want is my foot to be behind the hamstring. I actually want it behind the knee. So that way my knee can pinch to the inside of his hip here. And it's a really strong structure on this leg, okay? From here, the backside, I'm going to take my left leg and I'm going to frame it into his knee, just like so. My toes are going to collect onto his hook. And as I go to press his knee away from my hip line, I'm going to immediately pummel with the back leg. When I get here, I'm dropping my weight down and I'm going to punch at his hip. So when he starts to turn into me, it now can proceed into a underhook as I can start passing into my kata katami. Something that will happen in these scenarios is when I start to play here and he shoots, okay, what I really want to make sure that I accomplish is when I go to pummel one down and the other over, I don't just leave my foot here. If I leave my foot here and he pinches his knees down together, he can now trap me in quarter guard. So when I go to pummel the top leg down, my other leg is going to pummel over so I can avoid the quarter guard position. Now, when we talk about pummeling through this position, this is the result of him framing against me. So if I'm in a scenario to where either A, he elevates me, or two, I walk, when he goes to get me into his position, he shoots, I would love nothing more but to come down and start smashing on him. But he's framing against me, and I cannot bring my weight down. If you feel the need of not being able to bring your weight down, that's okay. We'll just float pass into the pass. So this is the direction of this pummeling against this ashi position, is we can't get our weight down, and he's elevating us up with his own frames. So it's going to lead us into pummeling against the ashi. I go and I set the position up, he shoots, and I pummel. Once we get here, something that I can use is a knee cut and back step methods. So we are going to look from this position, number one, without the underhook. So you'll notice there's a distance between him and I. When I go and knee cut to this far side this way, you're going to notice that I just shoved his knees to the right side. That is exactly what I want. I want his left leg in particular to be facing this direction over here. I'm going to have to make this back step pretty fast when I make this play, because when I knee cut and shifted this direction, I did so without an underhook. And all that space that's between him and I, he can use it as a underhook and start wrestling up and taking my back if so. But since there's space there, I'm using this knee cut. So as soon as I put my knee on the floor here, I'm going to back step around and put all of my weight onto his hips here. So he's carrying my own hips or my own weight. I have options. Either A, I'd come back into my 411 positioning, or number two, the space between him and I can collect it. So typically, because there's so much space here, when I start pummeling for one, he typically beats me on the first one, but when I pummel in for 2, I can get deeper on my second pummel. That's going to now allow me to knee cut straight back to where I just started at. From here, I'm taking my hand underneath on this side for an extra underhook. So now we're in a double under scenario and we're ready to pass. So let's look at this one more time from a smooth position. So we're coming up, he shoots, I pummel, knee cut, back step. We go 1, he beats me, go 2, and we're good. Okay guys, so this is a play that I like to run to really get my training partner thinking. It's a small play, but you can have this in your toolbox. I get elevated into this position, he shoots, and we go to Ashi. As soon as I get here, I'm gonna commit to a shallow underhook. I'm not gonna go deep to where my weight's gonna get shifted. I just go shallow here. So that way, when I go to knee cut back to this side, not only did I knee cut, okay, and shifted his hips over here, but now I did so with an underhook. From here, I'm gonna take my left leg and I'm gonna back step on top. Not with my knee, just my foot here, just like so. Now, from here, I can take both of my knees, lift my hips up, bring him to the middle, and pass with an X straight into a katakatami. Passing with double unders after you leg pummel through Ashi. This is probably my favorite pass of them all. And we're gonna show you how to do so and walk both of the arms up into mount. When I get elevated and I pummel through after he shoots to Ashi, I'm gonna go once again with that shallow hook and I'm gonna knee cut to this side, okay? Something that now happens on this side over here is since my head is down, it's going to give me the leverage to start pummeling in and grabbing on to the AC joint here, just like so. Once I achieve this, I'm going to flare my elbows open and post my head right above his, just like so. Notice he still has me trapped in quarter guard. So I'm posting that far side leg to the bottom side of his knee, just like so. This is going to prevent him from coming up with me. So when I lift my hips up now, we can have an easy mount transition straight into a double under position, which sets up our katakatami or an S mount, maybe even a back take. Okay guys, so we came to the last bit of the leg pummeling. This one here is fancy. You don't necessarily need this into your toolbox, but if you want it, here it is. A great way to take back exposure from a headquarter position. So what I want to achieve is when he starts to elevate me and I shoot from this Ashi position in pummel, what I'm looking for now is a cross post from him. Once my training partner cross posts me here, what's going to actually happen is space is going to develop between his elbow and his knee on this side here. If that space develops, then I know that I have this back take. Now, the thing is about this back take is my right hand needs to touch all the way to his left hip on this side. So you can pretty much see my hand going this way and touching this hip. That's a pretty far direction, but that's exactly what needs to happen. So when I rotate my hand, I'm going to go down and I'm going to look to grab his hip here. When I go to make this play, I'm grabbing his knee here, pressing his knee inward, and as I go to lift his hips up, which that's super key, lifting my training partner's hips up to make it liable for him to be able to move, is when I go to press down, I can spin and replace my right hook in and then start setting up into my back takes. So let's look at this again from a quicker speed. So we've pummeled in and he's taking a cross post. Once he achieves this, we're gonna roll for our back exposure.